Good evening. Once again, we return to the story of Caius, Spell Sword, Dwemer, Eternal Champion, now currently in charge of the Blades in Vardenfell. And I believe there was a small interruption with the save previously, so there may be a little bit of material that was lost in between beginning recording now and returning. So I just want to see where we sit with the...
Share your thoughts, friend. I enjoy the company.
with the Mages Guild.
More interruptions, Warlock? Do you want more duties? Why are you here?
I would like advancement.
In order to advance to the rank of wizard, you must have a wizard staff.
All right. Now the funny thing is, with a wizard staff, I think we already have one, but now seems like a very good time to maybe go after the Staff of Magnus. It's definitely a longer journey, but it may be a worthwhile distraction. So we're in Aldern, so before I go off and do that, I'm going to finish a little bit of work in Vivek.
I'd be happy to talk. My pleasure, really.
So we don't know if we've finished the job with Tongue Toad. Let's just take a look here. Alright, so let's see what we can do in the Fighters Guild before I go any further.
Welcome, friend. The day is yours. What shall we talk about?
Let's talk about teleportation.
I don't know where to...
I seem to remember there was some job that needed to be... I seem to remember there's some duties that might have needed to be
I
done in
think it would be
Vivek.
best if you leave.
So
Now.
where are you from?
I believe I've seen a dark elf with such a grand outfit in some time. Can I help you?
Probably not.
Is there something I can do for you?
Talk is free. What do you want?
I feel like there are some more specific tasks for me to be doing inside of the different cantons in Vivek, but let's deal with my most...
If there's anything I can do, I am humbly at your service.
deal with my most direct tasks.
You get Tongue Toad to shut his mouth yet? I want that done. Good work, Caius. Just as long as Tongue Toad keeps his mouth shut. Here's your gold.
Can I advance yet?
Your talents are noteworthy, but some question the depth of your devotion. Perform more duties for the Fighters Guild and you'll earn your place.
What orders?
Got a bounty on a Khajiit. Name's Dro Shakar. He's hiding here in Vivek, in St. Olms, I think.
Alright, gives me something to do.
Truly. How may I help you?
I believe I've seen a dark elf with such a grand outfit in some time. How can I help you?
What do you know about Drozakar?
I don't know that one. Check over in St. Olms. Lots of shady characters are in that part of Vivek.
This is a wondrous encounter. Welcome.
Everyone's so nice now.
I like what I see.
Well, thanks. Anything you can tell me about Droshakar?
Don't know that one? Check over in St. Olms.
All right. Now, if memory serves, the Guarhides Queen. All right, so the Market Canton, which is... I always thought the market and the foreign
Talk is
cantons were
free. What
separate.
do you want?
Anyway, it's Rulasa Run. I wonder if it'll tell me,
Vivek is made up of 9 cantons, each with a little town to itself. Each great house has its own canton, and the Outlanders have their own canton in the foreign quarter. The arena is for public entertainments, like mock battles and comic plays. Commoners and paupers live in St. Delan and St. Olms cantons. Most of all, this is Lord Vivek's holy city, the Ministry of Truth. The temple prison hangs above the great temple in the High Fane, the halls of wisdom and justice, and Lord Vivek's palace.
alright, I'm gonna make a guess here that this is the Market Canton. For now. And I want to try and get some of the side tasks done, and then we can start thinking about a proper staff. I don't think it's not really worth trying to sell the potions. I think we decided that last time. Ah, here we go.
Welcome to Vivek, Caius. I'm sure that you have some questions. What would you like to know?
Let's talk about the Guar hides.
As Redoran has provided my Guar hides for years.
How do I put this another way? Maybe I'm very bad at this. Alright, well, let's try it the old-fashioned way.
Welcome, Outlander.
Okay, I'll buy your guar hides from House Lalu. Now leave me alone.
Thank you. Speaking of, sales. Alright. It's one task taken care of. Suppose there's a question about whether or not I want to be trying to get anything in the, Telvanni compound. Might be worth a try. So I suppose for that I'll go to the east. Suspect I'll be rather unwelcome in Vivek if I'm caught doing this.
What word do you have for me, citizen?
Good morning. So I can see the odd jobs in Vivek being something that I can spend a little time on. Once the Telvanni one is, I'm sort of weighing about whether or not I want to make such an aggressive move. But I am inclined to try and get the Staff of Magnus before advancing in the Mages Guild. So I'm just pausing for some refreshment. Do like looking out over the canals. This is the arena canton, alright. I'm sure I'll have a few needs for a levitate if the last encounter was any indication. Flame mirror robe. Also, if memory serves. Should see if I can find the Invisible Man again. Just make sure if there isn't anything else that I can do with it. we are looking for. Right, Maven Drenham.
I really don't want you around here.
Oh, fair enough.
Do you have something to say, Outland?
This is becoming most unpleasant.
How do you do?
Favor me with your question, Pilgrim. Do you need me to point out some specific place?
I'm really just curious about your robe. This is actually going to be kind of hard.
Ask myself, do I like you enough to tell you about this?
I suppose not. Alright, now this seems too good to be true. Run for your lives! It's a lot of weight. I'm actually rather surprised I made it this long. I probably should have tried some restore health. Spell absorption. I wanted reflect if I had it. of these.
let you live. You've made your last mistake, thief. Journey is at hand.
Alright, well, that was fun, but... and I crashed the game. Alright. I am gonna try that if I don't have any other options in terms of doing this stealthily. So, to my mind, this should be completely kosher because nobody can see me. I'm almost certain I had an invisibility somewhere. I can't believe that worked. Alright, and then I believe, yeah, so the next thing I'm gonna do acrobatics. Not quite what I wanted. I'm just trying to find a way to get a little better agility given the fact that I'm not very good at sneaking. very lucky the first time I tried to do it. Not quite what I meant to do. Although apparently I can put it on my other things. No bounty, huh? I'm looking for absorb. Although telekinesis will also be helpful. At this point, I want to wonder whether or not it's worth. No. Oh wait, no, that was the reflect.
Mistake, thief.
Over here! A thief! You'll get yours, thief! What are you doing? You can't escape me! You'll get yours, thief!
What's your doing?
Spot. And they were none the wiser.
Let's not make this official, Outlander. Move along.
Absolutely. Law-abiding here all the way.
We're watching you, scum.
I don't blame you in the slightest. Don't know anything about the, anyone could be troublemaker here. I admire the work that you do. I believe I was on my way to St. Holmes now. Oh wait, no, it wasn't. Oh wow, I should double check these when the time comes. I'm pretty sure this is St. Holmes. Yeah.
I'm fine, thank you. What can I do for you?
Nothing. Sorry.
This is the sacred city of Vivek. Count your blessings. Can I help you find someone in particular, or are you just looking around?
As a matter of fact.
There's a Khajiit in one of the homes off the south side canal. He looks suspicious.
One of the homes. Right, maybe I need to go back down there.
Yes, Outlander. What do you want?
I'm Sivikaius. I am, Nalvile Saren. Don't worry, Vivek can be confusing for us, and we live here. Is there some specific place that you want, or someone in particular that you're trying to find?
Looking for a Khajiit by the name of Droshkar.
It's the Khajiit in one of the homes off the south side canal. He looks suspicious.
I see.
It's not bad when you know your way around, Caius. What are you looking for in Vivek?
Well, how do I put this? You.
Yes, what is it?
Not quite sure how I'm
You
supposed
wish
handle
to
this.
speak?
I feel like I get a bounty if I just do this. Apparently not. What am I doing? might find something incriminating. Apparently just some trader. Alright, let's take the corn eggs. Apparently law in Vivek is relatively lax. That's good to know for future. Just trying to think if there's any other immediate quests I need to do, unless I can find where Fevin Ralin is. Oh, sorry, Cassius Oclinus. Or I guess it's Alcidius. Let me just double check. I might have had a note. Sorry, it's not quite dark yet, but it's close, and I use this notepad for something else. I don't know. It seems to be something related to invisibility, and it says saint, but I don't think I wrote the actual place. So let's just see what's up here.
We're watching you, scum.
Why would you want to do that? Alright, so it wouldn't be this one.
Is there something I can do for you?
I mean, I could be totally wrong. I'll try the other saint, and if I don't find it, then I think I'll just accept that he's moved on. It's probably not worth checking all of the other sectors. We're making decent enough time on these little side quests, though. I feel like he would have been here if he was. Oh,
Is there something?
This might be the guy.
I'm listening.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, thank you. It's good to be able to be seen again. I just wish I had something to offer you, but I have nothing but of value and no gold to speak of. It's not that easy to find a job when you're invisible. Thank you again.
Alright, well, that's it, so... Not quite sure why it's still in my book, but
You wish to speak?
I'll accept it. The quest that I think I had a little uncertainty with from the last playthrough was being properly assigned and completing one of the quests that I completed in Alderun without realizing it at the time. The apprentice that let the scamp run out. So I think what might have happened was I had an opportunity to upgrade my level and I didn't. but because it wasn't saved properly, I had to go back and I redid everything just before the crash after I ended the stream, or the recording rather. So for practical purposes, it's the same as it was when we finished last time. But in practice, I think I was assigned something. Yeah, I was assigned the wizard staff problem. Talk with the Fighters Guild, and we'll head back to Palmora and Pelagiat. You're not in league with the Telvanni, are you?
Keep moving.
Truly is a holy city.
Talk is free. What do you want?
Yes, Outlander, what do you want?
I like what I see.
If there's anything I can do, I am humbly at your service.
A sincere welcome to you. May you be forever blessed.
I gave you the contract on the Khajiit Drokashar. Is he dead yet? I heard you got that Khajiit. Here's the 500 septim bounty.
What about my advancement?
Your talents are noteworthy, but some question the depth of your devotion. Perform more duties for the Fighters Guild and you'll earn your place.
What other orders are there?
Servant Dove says that Lyriel Stoin in Alderun owes him 2,000 septims. Get Lyriel's debt money and bring it back to me. You get to keep half of it yourself.
Very well. Maybe I'll make a quick detour then.
This is a wondrous encounter. Welcome.
The pleasure is all mine.
Go ahead, Outlander. What do you need?
Well, I'm listening, so
We're
go ahead.
watching
Done
you.
their need.
Scout.
I think it would be best if...
I don't know where to begin. It is such
Welcome,
an honor.
friend. The day is yours. What shall we talk about?
I was going to head directly to Belmora first, but in this case I think it makes as much sense for me to go
Greetings to you.
Alderun.
A pleasure to meet you.
I am Flacasia Faucius, the Imperial Guild Guide. I provide instantaneous transport between various mages guild halls here on Vardenfell. What is your destination? I can also help with local information. Do you need services, or are you looking for some specific place, or for someone in particular?
Just Alderun. Thank you. Oh, you know what?
must say I find you most
flatter.
interesting.
I
Check a
think
couple of details.
Outlander.
Talk
Yes,
is free. What do
Outlander.
you want?
The pleasure is all mine.
Now I've gone and done it.
Hail, friend.
You here for orders or advancement, Warder? Or was there something else that you wanted? Here we go. Lyran's Stoin can be found at the Rat in the Pot in Aldaroon. Go there, get the 2,000 septums she owes, and report back to me.
You
Much
have
obliged.
great understanding.
I have a feeling you and I are about to become very close.
Tell me more.
I like what I see.
We're
May I help?
watching.
I think it would be best to
Share your thoughts, friend. I enjoy the company.
Back to Aldarin, please. Thank you.
How about sharing the wealth? I'm listening. Please. Go ahead.
Now let's see what we can find. I can never remember where the Rat in the Pot is. Right in front of me.
Dwemer?
Friend. Small fork on outside, or is it inside?
I am not a very good bounty hunter, it seems.
What can it do for you?
All right, I'm listening.
Yes, Outlander. What do you want? I heard something.
Ah,
Pleased to meet you guys. I'm Lyrel Stoin, thief. Welcome to Aldarin. What can I do for you?
I'm here to collect.
My brother, Rurenstoin, is dead. The Kimona Tong said he owed them money, which I don't dispute, but now they say that I owe my brother's debts. and I just don't have the money. I can't pay what I don't have, can I? L'Oreal Stoyne told me that her brother Ruran Stoyne owed the money and that she doesn't have 2,000 gold. She told me her brother died seeking his fortune in Malapi, which is northeast of Narmok.
Can you ask your question
What do you
quickly?
think of
I
our
must
city,
go.
Outlander?
Not such a quick trip after all. I am, however, curious as to whether or not I can quickly get to Narmok. I don't think I can. I will consider following up on this, but it's not a high priority right now. I think I'm going to go to Balmora and deal with my other tasks.
How about sharing the wealth? I've lots to show you.
Welcome, friend. The day is yours. What shall we talk about?
Balmora, please.
Share your thoughts, friend. I enjoy the company. How delightful. Welcome.
If I'd been thinking, I could have, or, no, I don't think there's a way of doing it. I should sort out which books I own and which ones I don't. So that I can sell the surplus.
Are the alchemists buying only House Halu guar hides? I heard you convinced Rosla Oren to buy guar hides from us. Good work, Caius. Take the 1,000 drakes, a small share of Klaus Lalhu's future profits.
Are we ready to talk advancement yet?
Yes, you clearly deserve the rank of lawman. Congratulations, Caius.
What about further advancement?
I cannot advance you further. You must find a sponsor among the Halu counselors. Since you are a foreigner, you should speak with Crassius Curio. I doubt that any of the other counselors would sponsor you. He can be very eccentric at times, but his weaknesses allow him to be manipulated. He lives in the Halu Plaza in Vivek.
Perhaps I need to go back to Vivek for a minute then. Actually, my quest for the staff will probably take up all my time, so I don't need to focus too hard on it. On advancement, that is.
What do you think of Balmora?
Alright, gotta think of the right way to handle this. Alright, the biography of Baron Zaya would be in the stacks here. So it looks like we don't have a copy of that yet.
Biography of Queen Baronzaya by Stern Gambodge, Imperial Scribe. Late in the Second Era, a girl child, Baronzaya, was born to the rulers of the Kingdom of Mournhold in what is now the Imperial Province of Morrowind. She was reared in all the luxury and security befitting a royal dark elven child until she reached 5 years of age. At that time, His Excellency Tiber Septim I, the first Emperor of Tamriel, demanded that the decadent rulers of Morrowind yield to him and institute imperial reforms. Trusting to their vaunted magic, the Dark Elves impudently refused until Tiber Septim's army was on the borders. An armistice was hastily signed by the now eager Dwemer, but not before there were several battles, one of which laid waste to Mournhold, now called Alamelixia. Little Princess Baronzaya and her nurse were found among the wreckage. The Imperial General Symmachus, himself a Dark Elf, suggested to Tiber Septim that the child might someday be valuable, and that she was therefore placed with a loyal supporter who had recently retired from the Imperial army. Sven Advinsson had been granted the title of Count upon his retirement. His fiefdom, Darkmoor, was a small town in central Skyrim. Count Sven and his wife reared the princess as their own daughter, seeing to it that she was educated appropriately, and more importantly, that the imperial virtues of obedience, discretion, loyalty, and piety were instilled in the child. In short, she was made fit to take her place as a member of the new ruling class of Morrowind. The girl Baronzaya grew in beauty, grace, and intelligence. She was sweet-tempered, a joy to her adoptive parents and their 5 young sons, who loved her as their elder sister. Other than her appearance, she differed from young girls of her class only in that she had a strong empathy for the woods and fields, and was wont to escape her household duties to wander there at times. Baronzaya was happy and content until her 16th year, when a wicked orphan stable boy, whom she had befriended out of pity, told her he had overheard a conspiracy between her guardian, Count Sven, and a Redguard visitor to sell her as a concubine in Riyadh, as no Nord or Breton would marry her on account of her black skin, and no Dark Elf would have her because of her foreign upbringing. "Whatever shall I do?" the poor girl said, weeping and trembling, for she had been brought up in innocence and trust, and it never occurred to her that her friend, the stable boy, would lie to her. The wicked boy, who was called Straw, said that she must run away if she valued her virtue, but that he would come with her as her protector. Sorrowfully, Baronzaya agreed to this plan, and that very night she disguised herself as a boy, and the pair escaped to the nearby city of Whiterun. After a few days there, they managed to get jobs as guards for a disreputable merchant caravan. The caravan was headed east by the side roads in a mendacious attempt to elude the lawful tolls charged on the imperial highways. Thus the pair eluded pursuit until they reached the city of Riften, where they ceased their travels for a time. They felt safe in Riften, close as it was to the Morrowind borders, so that Dark Elves were enough of a common sight.
So, this one I'm going to set aside because it's part 2. I feel like I've already read this. I'm pretty sure we've already got the Invocation of Azura. I feel like I've walked by that that book so many times. Well,
Invocation of Azura by Siglia Parata. For 300 years, I have been a priestess of Azura.
we've definitely read this. I may have read it in Daggerfall, though, so I will do this at least one more time.
For 300 years, I have been a priestess of Azura, the Daedric princess of Moonshadow, mother of the rose and queen of the night sky. Every Hoggatham, which we celebrate on the 21st of First Seed, we summon her for guidance, as well as to offer things of worth and beauty to her majesty. She's a cruel but wise mistress. We do not invoke her on any Hoggatham troubled by thunderstorms, for those nights belong to the Mad One, Shegarath, even if they do coincide with the occasion. Azura at such times understands our caution. Azura's invocation is a very personal one. I have been priestess to 3 other Daedric princes, but Azura values the quality of her worshippers and the truth behind our adoration of her. When I was a Dark Elven maid of 16, I joined my grandmother's coven, worshippers of Molag Bal, the schemer princess. Blackmail, extortion, and bribery were as much the weapons of the witches of Molag Bal as is dark magic. The invocation of Molag Bal is held on the 20th of Evening Star, except during stormy weather. This ceremony is seldom missed, but Molag Bal often appears to her cultists in mortal guise on other dates. When my grandmother died in an attempt to poison the heir of Firewatch, I re-examined my faith in the cult. My brother was a warlock of the cult of Boethia, and from what he told me, the Dark Warrior was closer to my spirit than the treacherous Molag Bal. Boethia is a warrior princess who acts more overtly than any other Daedroth. After years of skulking and scheming, it felt good to perform acts for my mistress which had direct, immediate consequences. Besides, I liked it that Boethia was a Daedra of the Dark Elves. Our cult would summon her on the day we called the Gauntlet, the 2nd of Sun's Dusk. Bloody competitions would be held in her honor, and the duels and battles would continue until 9 cultists were killed at the hands of other cultists. Boethia cared little for her cultists, she only cared for our blood. I do think I saw her smile when I accidentally slew my brother in a sparring session. My horror, I think, greatly pleased her. I left the cult soon after that. Boethia was too impersonal for me, too cold. I wanted a mistress of greater depth. For the next 18 years of my life, I worshipped no one. Instead, I read and researched. It was in an old and profane tome that I came upon the name of the Nocturnal, the Night Mistress, Nocturnal, the Unfathomable. As the book prescribed, I called to her on her holy day, the 3rd of Hearthfire. At last I had found the personal mistress I had so long desired. I strove to understand her labyrinthine philosophy, the source of her mysterious pain. Everything about her was dark and shrouded, even the way that she spoke and the acts she required of me. It took years for me to understand the simple fact that I could never understand Nocturnal. Her mystery was as essential as her savagery was to Boethia, or treachery was to Molag Bal. To understand Nocturnal is to negate her, and to pull back the curtains cloaking the her realm of darkness. As much as I loved her, I recognized the futility of unraveling her enigmas. I turned instead to her sister, Azura. Azura is the only Daedra princess I have ever worshipped who seems to care about her followers. Molag Bal wanted my mind, Boethia wanted my arms, and Nocturnal perhaps my curiosity. Azura wants all of that, and our love above all. Not our abject slavering, but our honest and genuine caring in all of its forms. It is important to her that our emotions be engaged in her worship, and our love must also be directed inwards. If we love her and hate ourselves, she feels our pain. I will, for all time, have no other mistress.
Now surely I have the origins of the Mages Guild. Pretty sure I have overview of gods and worship, but again, that might be from my old house in Daggerfall.
An overview of gods and worship in Tamriel by Brother Hetchfield. Editor's note, Brother Hetchfield is an associate scribe of the Imperial University Office of Introductory Studies. Gods are commonly judged upon the evidence of their interest in worldly matters. A central belief in the active participation of deities in mundane matters can be challenged by the reference to the apparent apathy and indifference on the part of gods during times of plague and famine. From intervention in legendary quests to manifestation in common daily life, no pattern for the gods of Tamriel activities is readily perceived. The concerns of gods in many ways may seem unrelated or at best unconcerned with the daily trials of the mortal realm. The exceptions do exist, however. Many historical records and legends point to the direct intervention of one or more gods at times of great need. Many heroic tales recount blessings of the divinity bestowed upon heroic figures who worked or quested for the good of a deity or the deity's temple. Some of the more powerful artifacts in the known world were originally bestowed upon their owners through such reward. It has also been reported that priests of high ranking in their temples may on occasion call upon their deity for blessings or help in time of need. The exact nature of such contact and the blessings bestowed is given to much speculation, as the temples hold such associations secret and holy. This direct contact gives weight to the belief that gods are aware of the mortal realm. In many circumstances, however, these same gods will do nothing in the face of suffering and death, seeming to feel no need to interfere. It is thus possible to conclude that we, as mortals, may not be capable of understanding more than a small fraction of the reasoning and logic such beings use. One defining characteristic of all gods and goddesses is their interest in worship and deeds. Deeds in the form of holy quests are just one of the many things that bring the attention of a deity. Deeds in everyday life, by conforming to the statutes and obligations of individual temples, are commonly supposed to please a deity. Performance of ceremony at a temple may also bring a deity's attention. Ceremonies vary according to the individual deity. The results are not always apparent, but sacrifice and offerings are usually required to have any hope of gaining a deity's attention. While direct intervention in daily temple life has been recorded, the exact nature of the presence of a god in daily mundane life is a subject of controversy. A traditional saying of the Wood Elves is that one man's miracle is another man's accident. While some gods are believed to take an active part of daily life, others are well known for their lack of interest in temporal affairs. It has been theorized that gods do in fact gain strength from such things as worship through praise, sacrifice, and deed. It may even be theorized that a number of worshippers a given deity may reflect on his overall position among the other gods. This my own conjecture garnered from the apparent ability of the larger temples to gain blessings and assistance from their god with greater ease than smaller religious institutions. There are reports of the existence of spirits in our world that have the same capacity to use the actions and deeds of mortals to strengthen themselves as do the gods. The understanding of the exact nature of such creatures would allow us to understand with more clarity the connection between a deity and the deity's worshippers. The implication of the existence of such spirits leads to the speculation that these spirits may even be capable of raising themselves to the level of a god or goddess. Matsuo of the Imperial Seminary has suggested that these spirits may be the remains of gods and goddesses who through time lost all or most of their following, reverting to their earliest, most basic form. Practitioners of the old ways say that there are no gods, just greater and lesser spirits. Perhaps it is possible for all three theories to be true.
Yes, we have that one. And I think we have the anticipations as well. Consolations of Prayer. about the vagaries of Magica. I feel like we have had that, yeah. Alright.
The Consolations of Prayer. Through the bounty of Blessed Elmsivi, Triune Grace, and all of the hosts of saints, the faithful who pray at the temple's shrines may be granted blessings through the miraculous sacraments of prayer and devotion. The three-sided shrines betoken the three-faced benison of Elmsivi, and may be found in temples or at sites of pilgrimage, or at pilgrim waysides, or in the tomb of the sanctified. What benefits may be gained shall be listed herein for the edification of the worshipper and pilgrim. All shrines grant cures of common diseases, of blight diseases, and of afflictions of poison. Those shrines bearing the images of Vivek, Almalexia, and Sothasil may also may grant the blessing of Elmsivi restoration, which restores damaged attributes, and 3 blessings of Elmsivi: Vivek's mystery for good fortune, the soul of Sothasil for magical power, and Lady's grace for endurance of hardships. Those shrines bearing the images of the saints may also grant the particular blessings of the saints, which are listed for you here. Saint Aralor grants Aralor's intervention for fortifying character. Saint Delan grants Shield of Saint Delan for resistance to blight diseases. Saint Felms grants Felm's glory for greater skill in restoring magics. Saint Lothus grants Rock of Lothus for fortifying the will. Saint Maris grants Maris's warding for resistance to Cropris disease. Saint Nerevar grants Spirit of Nerevar for fortifying the body's vigor. Saint Olms grants Olm's benediction for resistance to common disease. Saint Rilms grants Rilm's grace for endurance of hardships. Saint Roris grants Roris bloom for fortifying the body's health. Saint Seren grants Seren's shield for resistance to poisons. And Saint Veloth grants Veloth's indwelling for magical power. It also grants the blessing of Elmsivi restoration, which restores damaged attributes. The faithful are granted these blessings when they pray at the shrines and make a modest donation. The blessed of the initiate rank and higher of the temple have already made their devotions in service and piety, and need only pray at the shrines to receive their benefits. And Elmsivi is generous, so even the unbeliever may receive a blessing if he prays, if he proves his respect with a generous donation. The Dowry, Ancient Tales of the Dwemer, Part 10, by Marabar Sewell. Yinlei was the wealthiest landowner in Gunal, and he had, over the years, saved a tremendous dowry for a man who would marry his daughter, Jennifer. When she reached the age of consent, he locked the gold away for safekeeping and announced his intention to have her marry. She was a comely lass, a scholar, a great athlete, but dour and brooding in aspect. This personality defect did not bother her potential suitors any more than her positive traits impressed them. Every man knew the tremendous wealth that would be his as the husband of Jenefra and son-in-law of Yinlei. That alone was enough for hundreds to come to Gunal to pay court. "The man who will marry my daughter," said Yinlei to the assembled, "must not be doing so purely out of avarice. He must demonstrate his own wealth to my satisfaction." This simple pronouncement removed a vast majority of suitors who knew that they could not impress the landowner with their meager fortunes. A few dozen did come forward within a few days, clad in fine Killeret cloth of spun silver, accompanied by exotic servants, traveling in magnificent carriages.
Sorry, just one moment.
Of all who came and met with Yinglei's approval, none arrived in a more resplendent fashion than Welyn Nerelik. The young man, who no one had ever heard of, arrived in a shining ebon coach drawn by a team of dragons, his clothing of rarest manufacture, and accompanied by an army of the most fantastical servants any of Gunal had ever seen. Valets with eyes on all sides of their heads, maidservants that seemed cast in gemstones. But such was not enough with Yinglei. "The man who marries my daughter must prove himself an intelligent fellow, for I would not have an ignoramus as a son-in-law and a business partner," he declared. This eliminated a large part of the wealthy suitors who, through their lives of luxury, had never needed to think very much, if at all. Still, some came forward over the next few days, demonstrating their wit and learning, quoting the great sages of the past and offering their philosophies of metaphysics and alchemy. Welyn Nerelik, too, came and asked Yinglei to dine at the villa that he had rented outside Gunal. There the landowner saw scores of scribes working on translations of Aldmeri tracts and enjoyed the young man's somewhat irreverent but intriguing intelligence. Nevertheless, though he was much impressed by with Welen Nerelik, Yingle had another challenge. "I love my daughter very much," said Yingle, "and I hope that the man who marries her will make her happy as well. Should any of you make her smile, she and the great dowry are yours." The suitors lined up for days, singing her songs, proclaiming their devotion, describing her beauty in the most poetic of terms. Ginevra merely glared at all with hatred and melancholia. Yingle, who stood by her side, began to despair at last. His daughter's suitors were failing to a man at the task. Finally, Welen Nerelik came to the chamber. "I will make your daughter smile," he said. "I dare say I'll make her laugh, but only after you've agreed to marry us. If she is not delighted within 1 hour of our engagement, then the wedding can be called off." Yingle turned to his daughter. She was not smiling, but her eyes had sparked with some morbid curiosity in this young man. As no other suitor had registered even that for her, he agreed. "The dowry is naturally not to be paid until after you're wed," said Yingle. "Being engaged is not enough." "Might I see the dowry still?" asked Welen. Knowing how fabled the treasure was, and understanding that this would likely be the closest the young man would come to possessing it, Yingle agreed. He had grown quite fond of Welen. On his orders, Welen, Yingle, Glumginefra, and the Castellan delved deep into the stronghold of Gunal. The first vault had to be opened by touching a series of runic symbols. Should one of the marks be mispressed, a volley of poisoned arrows would have struck the thief. Yingle was particularly proud of the next level of security. A lock composed of blades with 18 tumblers required 3 keys to be turned simultaneously to allow entry. The blades were designed to eviscerate any who merely picked one of the locks. Finally, they reached the storeroom. It was entirely empty. "But Lorcan, you've been burgled!" cried Yingle. "But how? Who could have done this?" "A humble, but, if I may say so, rather talented burglar," said Welen. "A man who has loved your daughter from afar for many years, but did not possess the glamour or the learning to impress. That is, until the gold from her dowry afforded me the opportunity." "You!" bellowed Yingle, scarcely able to believe it. Then something even more unbelievable happened. Ginevra began to laugh. She had never dreamed of meeting anyone like this thief. She threw herself into his arms before her father's outraged eyes. After a moment, Yingle too began to laugh. Ginevra and Welen were married in a month's time. Though he was in fact quite poor and had little scholarship, Yingle was amazed at how much his wealth increased with such a son-in-law and a business partner. He only made certain never to ask from whence came the excess gold. Publisher's note: the tale of a man trying to win the hand of a maiden whose father, usually a wealthy man or king, tests each suitor is quite common. See, for instance, the more recent 4 Suitors of Menethia by Joel Yolavis. The behavior of the characters is quite out of character for the Dwemer. No one today knows their marriage customs, or even if they had marriage at all. One rather odd theory of the disappearance of the dwarves came from this and a few other tales of Maribor Sul. It was proposed that the Dwemer never in fact left. They did not depart Nirn, much less the continent of Tamriel, and they are still among us disguised. These scholars use the story of Azura and the box to suggest that the Dwemer feared Azura, a being that they could neither understand nor control, and they adopted the dress and manner of the Chimer and Altmer in order to hide from Azura's gaze. Pilgrims Path. The pilgrim must visit each of the shrines of the 7 graces. At each site, the pilgrim must stand before the 3-sided stoned triolith and read the inscription. To ease the pilgrim's task, the temple has made this list of shrines, along with directions and advice to pilgrims. The blessings of each shrine last at least half a day. The Fields of Kumu, the Shrine of Humility. Here, Lord Vivek met a poor farmer whose guar had died. The farmer could not harvest his muck without his guar, and he could not provide for his family or his village. So the Lord Vivek removed his fine clothes and toiled in the fields like a beast of burden until the crop was harvested. It is at the Fields of Kumu that we go to pray for the same humility Lord Vivek showed on that day. The Fields of Kumu are west of Siran on the north shore of Lake Amaya as you head towards Pelagiad. The shrine is between 2 rocks and most easily noticed while traveling east along the road. Elof's farm nearby has a small dock on the north bank of Lake Amaya. This is the only dock nearby which Elof kindly allows servants of the temple to use. It is customary to leave a portion of muck at the shrine to represent Vivek's humility. To stop the moon, the Shrine of Daring. When Sheogorath rebelled against the tribunal, he tricked the moon Bardao into forsaking its appointed path through oblivion. The Mad Star inspired the moon to hurl itself upon Vivek's new city, which Sheogorath claimed was built in mockery of the heavens. When Vivek learned of Sheogorath's scheme, he froze the rogue moon in the sky with a single gesture and the grace of his countenance. Overwhelmed by the courage and daring of Vivek, the moon Bardao swore itself to the eternal service of the tribunal and all its works. Thus the new moon now stands guard over the palace and serves as a citadel for the temple's ordinators. The Shrine of Daring is found in the city of Vivek, in the temple district along the great western wall of the High Fane, the great temple of Vardenfell. When you address the shrine, it is customary to leave behind a potion of rising force. Suitable potions may be purchased from the temple. Homemade portions are not acceptable. The Palace, Shrine of Generosity. Long before Lord Nerevar and the tribunal triumphed over Dagoth-Ur, the people wished to build a monument to the heroes of that war. Vivek thanked them, but said that it would be better to dedicate a monument not only to the glorious heroes, but to all the people, great and small, who suffered and died in the war. It became the custom to make offerings here, either in thanks of our good fortune or for those less fortunate. The Shrine of Generosity is on the top steps of Vivek's palace, the southernmost canton of Vivek City. The customary donation for those in good fortune is 100 gold. The Puzzle Canal, the Shrine of Courtesy. In a battle with Barunas Dagon, Vivek gave his own silver longsword to the Daedra Lord, rather than dishonor himself by fighting an unarmed foe. This so impressed the Dremora that the most honorable and chivalrous of Marunas Dagon's Daedric servants... This so impressed the Dremora, the most honorable and chivalrous of Marunas Dagon's Daedric servants, that they now share a bond of respect and courtesy with the followers of the tribunal, though we must never forget that they are our enemies. The Shrine of Courtesy is found in the heart of the Puzzle Canal, a labyrinth beneath Lord Vivek's palace in the city of Vivek. The journey through the Puzzle Canal can be confusing, as it is suggested that common pilgrims carry a scroll of Almsevi intervention in case they get lost. The Dremora Krazit is found in the center of the Puzzle Canal, and will accept plain silver longsword if spoken to with courtesy. After Krazit accepts the sword, pilgrims must read the inscription on the Triolith. The Mask of Vivek, the Shrine of Justice. Near the altar is Vivek's ash mask. In the days of fire, when Dagoth-Ur first crept back into the Red Mountain and awakened it, Vivek led refugees here as they fled the ash and blight. Weary, they rested here a while. When Vivek awoke, he found himself and his followers encased in casts of grey ash. Frozen like a sleeping statue and unable to free himself or help his people, Vivek was filled with despair. Vivek's tears weakened his ash cast. He tore at the ash from his perished followers, breathed life into their lungs, and cured them of this blight. This is Vivek's heroism. His tender heart provides strength when his might fails. The Shrine of Justice is guarded within Nisus Temple, in the village of Nisus, northwest by road from the town of Aldrun. When you address the shrine, it is customary to leave a potion of cure common disease as a token of your respect for justice. Suitable potions may be purchased from the temple. Homemade potions are not acceptable. Coal Cave, the Shrine of Valor. Within the Coal Cave, Vivek fought a battle with Ruddy Man, the father of the Drow. When he defeated Ruddy Man, Vivek spared his life on the condition that Ruddy Man and his children would give up their tough hides to serve as armor for the Dwemer. The Shrine of Valor, inside the Coal Cave, a cavern on the seacoast west of the ancient stronghold Bernadas and south of Nisus. The cave mouth faces south towards the sea and is marked by a large natural arc of stone. The region is wilderness, and finding the cave mouth can be difficult. Drow within the cave itself are fearsome enemies. Only experienced and capable adventurers should attempt to reenact the epic battle with the Drow in the cave. Drow wax may be bought at the temple in Nisus. When you address the shrine, it is customary to leave a portion of Drow wax as a token of Vivek's victorious struggle with the Ruddy Man. The Ghost Fence, the Shrine of Pride. The Ghost Fence is a lasting symbol of the indomitable will and power of Almsevi and a monument to Dwemer pride in overcoming its enemies. The Shrine of Pride is found within the Ghost Fence, just northeast of the Ghost Gate itself. The safest route to Ghost Gate is along the Foyada Mamea, a volcanic ravine running from the top of Red Mountain southwest to its end just below Balmora. An old Dwemer bridge crosses the Foyada near Fort Moonmoth. A pilgrim may follow the Foyada Mamea all the way to the Ghost Gate. Any journey inside the Ghost Fence is dangerous, but even the most timid pilgrim should be safe so long as they do not stray too far from the Ghost Gate and flees from any minions of Dagoth-Ur. When you address the shrine, it is customary to leave a soul gem in remembrance of our ancestors who were bound to the tribunal's service. The True Noble's Code by Sergio Athan Serethi. The honorable warriors of the great House Redoran are the hereditary defenders of Morrowind. To be a noble of House Redoran is more than being a great warrior. One must follow the triune virtues of duty, gravity, and piety. A Redoran's duty is first to the Tribunal Temple, second to the great House Redoran, and third to one's family and clan. In the Battle of Red Mountain, warriors of House Redoran died bravely for their duty to the Tribunal. By defending House Redoran from the schemes of the Telvanni wizards and the lies of the untrustworthy Hlalu, the true noble shows duty to House Redoran. Following the temple's guidelines of mercy and generosity show duty to one's family and clan. A Redoran noble must know the virtue of gravity. It is not the Redoran way to laugh at serious matters, for it shows disrespect. It is not the Redoran way to spread rumors, for they fester and breed dissension. A Redoran must show piety to the Aedra and Daedra, our creators and ancestors, for without the divine we would not have the chance to serve, and without divine law we would not know right from wrong. And without giving thanks for these things, we would forget our place and our purpose. Great House Redoran praises all the skills of war, not because we believe that war is good or honorable in its own right, but because this knowledge is necessary to perform one's duty. House Redoran's warriors fight with long blade and shield, or with a spear. A noble of House Redoran must also learn to use a bow, and must be athletic enough for the long marches to battle. A Redoran wears heavy or medium armor depending on rank and strategy. A noble of House Redoran is expected to know how to repair and maintain his own armor. Those who are born to House Redoran have been taught their skill and virtues by kin and clan. Those who seek to enter House Redoran as retainers must satisfy an examiner in the Redoran Council Hall that their skills are suitable for service to House Redoran. Whether born of blood into House Redoran or adopted into the service of House Redoran by oath, those who seek to advance in the ranks of House Redoran must demonstrate their virtues by service and obedience, and only when one has mastered all of the skills and virtues can one truly call himself a noble of the great House Redoran.
All right. While I'm here, a little alchemy done. Alright, so there's a pretty standard formula for this now, but I have a couple things I might want to change. Alright, so the cranberry gets an automatic pass. Same with the stone flower, which is good for fortify personality. Alright. So one of my unexpected improvements, I'm actually going to see if I can get a Fortify Agility. No. Although, for this case, I think I'm actually going to set it aside, so... So I need train willpower. Part of the way I handle this now is just trying to give myself some opportunities and not to fall into my bad habits of wasting a lot of time looking for stuff that I've already gone over. I'm gonna try and find drain strength first. Alright, restore health it is. Or not. Maybe Fortify Magicka. Rather like the fact that you get paralyzed as well as restored. Oh, reflect would be nice. I don't know if I have any other. Alright, Drain Magic is the highest priority right now. sell this office at a somewhat decent pace. Still carrying quite a bit of weight. Do you want to hang on to most of it? So our first stop will be to Palachid to drop off the robe for Nasi. And then we will find
Go
the
ahead,
Staff of
Outlander. What
Magnus.
do you need?
What do you think of Balmor, Outlander? Amatwa was yours.
Welcome to Balmora, council seat of House Lalu. How can I serve you?
I have some books I'd like to sell. And do you have a copy of the biography of Baron Zaya too? Yes. Excellent. I'm gonna keep those boots out for a bit. Just try and get a little bit of
I must say I find you most interesting right now. Please go ahead.
well, worth a try.
What did I do to deserve this honor?
Get a few potion sales in.
What?
Yes?
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to be able to sell a $2,000 item to you.
Go ahead, Outlander.
Still not getting me a ton of weight, but it's a start. Stay away. You asked for it. I think Pledge's over there, but let me just double check. Well, hello, Anasi.
Ah, it is Anasi's very special friend Caius. Anasi welcomes you to the hospitality of her house. Oh, look, a flame mirror robe. How clever you are. But we both knew that, did we not? And my goodness, such enchantments, and very, very pretty.
I should have seen what the stats for it were. I'm gonna say thank you for the tip, but I want to see exactly what our dialogue was first.
You are very, very welcome. Anasi hopes you treasure the robe always.
Greetings to my good friend, the Dwemer.
actually talked about.
Greetings to my good friend, Dwemer.
Oh, fair enough.
Anasi has just one care that she wants to share. Anasi hopes that her very special friend will stay close to Anasi and never go away. Anasi worries because Anasi looks forward to seeing you so much. But Anasi understands, and Anasi is very busy too, so Anasi is happy when she is busy, and happy when she sees you, and that is enough happiness for anyone. Yes, Anasi is very happy that we have shared so many gifts, but that is what friends are for, yes?
Alright. I believe we are on our way to Morrowind now.
Yes?
I always get a little turned around on this, I think. Probably should have just found a Silt Strider, but
You've betrayed Lord Dagoth. Taste his vengeance. Lord Dagoth has sent the Blight to destroy the foreigners, and to chasten those Dwemer who bend to foreign will. Those who oppose Lord Dagoth shall wither and die, while those who join Lord Dagoth shall be healed and strengthened, filled with the power and glory of Red Mountain and inspired by the dreams of Dagoth-Ur. It is the hour of wakening. He comes forth in glory, and his people shall rejoice, and his enemy shall scatter in the dust. Or light dust. As stark as madness seeming is divine as sense. Come, grasp the chain and prove you're sane.
Need I call the gods?
you know, if I go to Seydanine, I might be able to get a Silt Strider to Narmok. either want Olegmar or, Suran.
This is the seaport village of Seyda Outlander in the Bitter Coast region. I am a caravaner. I manage the Siltstrider port here. Tell me your destination if you're looking for a ride, or if you're new to Seyda I can help you with local services, or any specific place in Seyda that you're looking for. Or if you want someone in particular, maybe I know where to look.
I'd like a trip to Suran, please. Just in time for the dawn. Alright, so the aim is to travel east as much as possible. But while I'm at it, let's try and get some sales in.
Is there something I can...
They don't have too much, but I should be able to unload at least some of them.
Red Mountain spreads ash and blight. Sinners gather at the house. The time of the incarnate is at hand.
So right now I'm just trying to get rid of the obvious negative effects first. I'm sure this is all stuff that I've sold them. might, but they don't have a whole lot. Alright, let's see if we can get our way out. Yep. Alright, the trade house isn't necessarily a haven of commerce. Alright, now I need to find a way to go east, and I do remember that there was some. Sorry, I just need to send a quick message. Right, I think this is the path I was looking for. Not entirely sure if it gets me to Molagmor. To be honest, I don't remember all that well how I got there. But we'll do our best. Obviously, it looks like there are a lot of... Actually, you know what I can do? I have my map in front of me. It does look, if I go out and around the coast, I pass Talaresso, and that will take me to Molagmar. And then it's actually fairly direct to Mount Can, so this doesn't seem to be too much of a problem. Look at that view. I'm a little curious about what's inside here because I suspect I didn't check it out. I don't have a lot of carrying capacity, but I should give it a shot nonetheless. They've not yet learned how to operate doors. I don't normally like reloading on stuff like this, but I did want, I would like a chance to try and practice my security. Yeah, that was easy. I'll check that out in a little bit. Efforts to get a little practice in.
Had some fun!
That was an amusing little boast. So I notice a tendency to carry a lot of potions and scrolls. It mostly just comes down to the fact that the return on the weight is not bad, although I obviously limit myself in terms of people I can sell to. Things Wines like Cyrodiilic brandy are a great example. Not really worth it at this point. I know I'm going to be gone for a bit. This, of course, is worth it just for the practice. I feel like I walked by a book in an earlier spot.
Surefit of Thieves by Ennis Noru.
I may have read this before.
This looks interesting, said Indik, his eyes narrowing to an obscure black caravan making its way.
Ah, yes. This dessert.
Gold Ribbon of Merit by Empyrean Brum. In that early springtime morning, pale sunlight flickered behind the morning mist floating through the trees as Templar and Stringpool made their way to the clearing. Neither had been back in High Rock, let alone their favorite woods, for 4 years. The trees had changed little, even if they had. Stringpool had a handsome blonde mustache now, stiffened and spiked with wax, and Templar seemed to be a completely alien creature from the young lad who searched for adventure in the ancient grove. He was much quieter, as if scarred within as well as without.
So I'm just going to pause for a little drink.
They each carried their bows and quivers with extra care as they maneuvered their way through the clusters of vine and branch. "This is the path that used to lead to your house, isn't it, old boy?" asked Stringpool. Templar glanced at the overgrowth and nodded before continuing on. "I thought so," said Stringpool and laughed. "I remember it because you used to run down it every time that you got a bloody nose. I know I can't defend you, but I have to say it's hard to believe that you ended up a soldier."
I'm trying to remember if I've read this one too.
"How's your family?" asked Templar. "The same, a bit more pompous if that's possible. It's obvious that they wish I'd come back from the academy, but there's nothing much for me here. At least not until I collect my inheritance. You see I got a gold ribbon of merit in archery?" "How could I miss it?" said Templar. "Oh yes, I nearly forgot that the families put it in the Great Hall, very ostentatiously. I suppose you can actually see it through the picture window. Silly, but I hope the peasants are impressed." The clearing opened up before them, where the mist settled on the grass, enveloping it in an opaque, chilly vapor. Burlap targets were arranged around in a semicircle several meters apart, like sentinels. "You've been practicing," observed Templar. "Well, a bit. I've only been back in town a few days," said Stringpool with a smile. "My parents said you got here a week ago?" "That's right. My unit's camped a few miles east, and I thought I'd visit the old haunts. A lot's changed. I could hardly recognize anything at all." Templar looked down at the valley below to the vast emptied tilled ground, stretching out for miles around. "It looks like a good planting. My family's rather spread out since yours left. There was some discussion, I think, about keeping your old house up, but it seemed a little sentimental, especially as there was fertile ground beneath." Stringpool slung his bow carefully. It was a beautiful piece of art, darkest ebony and spun silver filigrees, handcrafted for him in Wayrest. He looked over at Templar stringing his bow and felt a twinge of pity. It was a sad weathered utensil, bound together with straps of fabric. If that's how they taught you to string your bow, you need some advisors from the academy in that army of yours, said Stringpool as gently as he could. The untightened loop is supposed to look like an X and an O. Yours looks like a Z and a Y. Works for me, said Templar. I should tell you, I won't be able to make an afternoon of this. I'm supposed to join my unit this evening. Stringpool began to feel annoyed by his old friend. If he was angry about his family losing their land, why couldn't he just say it? Why did he come all the way back to the valley at all? Why did he come back to the valley at all? He watched Templar knock his first arrow, taking aim at his target, and coughed. I'm sorry, but I can't in good faith send you back to the army without a little new wisdom. There are 3 types of draw. 3 fingers, thumb and index, thumb and 2 fingers. Then there's the thumb draw, which I like, but you'll see. Stringpool showed Templar the small leather loop fastened on the cord of his bow. You need to have one of these thingies or you'll tear your thumb right off. I think I like my stupid method best. Don't be pig-headed, Templar. They didn't give me a gold ribbon of merit for nothing. I demonstrated shooting from under a shield, standing, sitting, squatting, kneeling, and sitting on horseback. This is practical information I'm imparting for the sake of our friendship, which I, at least, haven't completely forgotten. Sweet Kinnereth, I remember you were just an oily little squirt begging for this kind of honest guidance. Templar looked at Stringpool for a moment and lowered his bow. Show me. Stringpool relaxed, shook away the tensions that had been building. He did his exercise drawing, the bow back to his eyebrow, his mustache, his chest, and his earlobe. There are 3 ways of shooting, snatching and releasing in one continuous motion, like the Bosmer do, holding with a short draw and a pause before releasing, like the Khajiit, and a partial draw, pause, and final draw. Stringpool fired the arrow into the center of the target with cool precision, and release, which I prefer. Very nice, said Templar. Now you, said Stringpool. He helped Templar select a grip, knock his arrow correctly, and take aim. A smile grew on Templar's face, the first time Stringpool had seen such a childlike expression on the war-etched visage all afternoon. When Templar released the arrow, it rocketed high over the top of the target and into the valley below where it disappeared from sight. Not bad, said Templar. No, not bad, said Stringpool, feeling friendly once again. If you practice, you should be able to focus your aim a little bit. The 2 shot a few more practice bolts before parting ways. Templar began the long track east to his unit's camp, and Stringpool wound his way through the woods to the valley and his family's mansion. He hummed a little tune he learned at the academy as he passed the great lawn and walked up the front door, pleased with himself for helping his old friend. It entirely escaped his attention that the large picture window was broken. He noticed right away when he came into the great hall and saw Templar's wild shot bolt sticking in his gold ribbon of merit.
I've read that before, I just don't know if I've read that here. Soul gems.
What do you ask of me?
Do you have the key to these bracers? Will you let me go free? You have the key. Will you let me go free? Yes. Yes, now I am free. Thank you, guys.
This isn't we are.
Its scent is unfamiliar.
Khajiit better than lizard. We work hard. No steal. Make you happy.
Moon sugar's gonna be a little bit of a... Let me just double check that I leave a book. Well, if there was one, I missed it. So I suppose the good news was that I didn't need to make any decisions in terms of my carrying capacity. We'll see whether or not that stays consistent. Alright. We're definitely in familiar territory now. No, I suspect I've probably been in here before. Let's see if we can find some evidence one way or the other. What in the world are you? Ah, silence, so I'm not going to be able to cast anything. There are vampires about everywhere. Feel justified in this trip because it's no longer tomb raiding, it's clearing out a coven of vampires. So I suspect that's the way to Mount Cand. I will take a minute just to see what I've got in this area. The last time I came here, it was because I was mistaken. I thought I was looking for Morrowind, where I was looking for Margon. So I just want to find a place where I can sell some goods, and I'll be on my way.
Greetings, Runmare. I'm Runmare. Everyone here in Molag Mara is involved with the temple outpost or pilgrimages in some way. Is there some specific place nearby you'd like to visit?
Yes.
The Buoyant Armiger and Redoran garrisons, the hostels, and other services are all inside Molag Mar Stronghold, either on the tier top or inside the lower tiers. Roads lead north to the two pilgrim sites, Mount Asar Nabibi and Mount Kand in the Molag Amur Wastes. Silt Strider service goes to Suran and Vivek. From the docks, get a ship passage to Vivek, Tel Brenora, or Laod. Pleased to meet you, Kais. I'm Zerebrel. This is Molag Mar. This outpost is maintained by the Temple for Pilgrims and Temple Warriors. Apart from the Ordinators and the Buoyant Armigers here, everyone is either a Pilgrims or a Tradesman or a Craftsman servicing the Pilgrims. Is there something I can do for you?
Not unless you can tell me where I can buy and sell some potions.
Pleased to meet you, Kais. I'm Saris Orleu. Is this your first visit to Molag Mar? I don't believe we've spoken before. Is there anything I can do for you? You'll have to get rid of that moon sugar if you want services from me. I don't want any trouble.
What brings you to Molag Mar, Outlander? What now?
Again, they're not loaded, but
I will listen, Outlander, but make it quick. What now?
I can't remember if vampire ash restores magic. It does not. I think that's the best I can hope for. We should probably be going to Mount Kand unless I want to rest. specifically Asu, the slopes of Mount Can, northwest. Oddly quiet here. Just gonna take a minute to consult the map to see if there's any indications. No. I'm on my own on this one. So I'm a little split as to where I should be checking first, because the word from my colleague was that it's to the northwest, whereas in the mountain actually seems sort of directly north. Probably have the name when the time comes. But it certainly doesn't hurt to check. Glad I'm wearing the robe.
Answer my riddle, fool, and then fight me. The Daedra speaks slowly in words it obviously memorized. A metal neither black nor red, as heavy as a man's golden greed. What you do to stay ahead with friend or arrow or steed. Metal neither black nor red, as heavy as a man's golden greed. What you do to stay ahead with friend or arrow or steed? So I feel like the black or red eliminates ebony, daedric, and lead. Glass doesn't really make sense for... Well, see... Greed may not necessarily... Greed may not necessarily weigh anything, so I feel like glass makes the most sense here. Especially because it says to, how to put this, like, given that everything else it says to sort of like run ahead, or sorry, run ahead is the cue, like, it's the only one that kind of fits. The only thing that's weird is glass isn't really, it's really a metal. But let me just think about this for a second. So ebony is...
Sorry, this is Caius's thought process.
Fail. Now taste flame, mortal.
Well, that's what I get. I mean, the steed thing doesn't make a ton of sense, but...
Answer this riddle for me, mortal. Does thy blood run cold? First you must pass the fire Daedra's riddle. Leave this place, unworthy one.
Alright, well... I do kind of want to see what's going on here, but obviously I can't progress until, I wonder if that thing comes back. I've definitely found Mount Can. The question is whether or not I can find... whether or not I can find the hideaway. Clearly I wasn't paying attention. A little more awkward than that should have been. That's life. I really thought I had the soul trap cast. Obviously, the expensive shoes are first to go. Did I remember to pick up the skooma? Yes, I did. So I don't necessarily know what I'm looking for down here. I just want to see if there's anything interesting. Alright, I've caused myself some problems. That noise was. There's only one way out of this. Oh, now I've gone and done it. There does not seem to be a good way to fix this. Oh, here we go. Alright. In this case, I want to try and restore that for myself. There's the Staff of Magnus. That does put me overweight. So the items I can review what I want. In this case, I'll just leave the alchemy tools. I know I try to sell them normally, but it seems like a little bit of an effort to try and bring them over. I'm gonna guess it's gonna tell me that I'm not good enough to be able to handle this lock. Well, I can shut up. Alright, and now we have the Staff of Magnus. Doesn't do too much damage, spell absorption, and restore health, so nice abilities. And it's worth 210,000. Really gonna make me use another levitate to just get up here. Come on. Sorry about the road. You can probably talk with your Why are you like this? to Palmora. Actually, maybe I should make a quick trip to Vivek. Just so I can get some Lalu business done as well. I think the most sensible path probably is Palmora first, just to drop off everything. I know I'm gonna have other activities that I need to do in Vivek no matter what. Salt Strider gives me passage to Alderun, I might take that as well, just so that I can see if there's any other tasks to perform.
Where would you like to go?
Well, where are your destinations? Suran and Vivek, alright. But then Suran probably gives me access to other things as well. Let's go to Suran.
Go ahead. Just for you. Same low price.
Good day, Outlander. I'm a caravaneer for Suran. Tell me your destination and I'll tell you if I can help you.
Palmora, please.
We make a special trip just for you. Same low price.
Much obliged. Before I do anything, I'm gonna get rid of that skooma and moon sugar at the Mages Guild, especially because I want to talk to this person anyway.
Welcome, friend. You're nearly a legend around here. Please, talk.
What do you want?
Advancement.
In order to advance to the rank of wizard, you must have a wizard staff.
Staff of Magnus do that.
I could sell you a wizard staff, but they are quite expensive at 5,000 septims. However, I know of a former member of our order, Anire, who may still have her wizard staff. Really, any wizard staff will do, but it is no crime to take one from a renegade and outlaw like Arnie. Last I heard, she was in the caverns of Sud. There's a cavern on the far west coast of Shigarad, due west to Dagon Fell. There's an inlet west of Dagon Fell before you reach the real coast. Do not be fooled by this.
I'm very happy to make your acquaintance.
Alright, apparently the Staff of Magnus is not a satisfactory wizard staff.
Warm day to you, friend.
Ajira is a good friend of Caius and tells Caius about the Staff of Magnus. Ajira knows that you have found the Staff of Magnus. Now Ajira might tell you her other secret.
She might, but she hasn't yet. Should try and get rid of some of this heavier stuff. For what do I have? Oh yeah, because flint is expensive.
Ajira would tell friend Caius another secret. Ajira knows about the Warlock's Ring. Ajira knows that Vindema Dethan has the Warlock's Ring. Ajira tells you this because Ajira does not like Vindemea. Vindemea Drethan. She is in Ashirbadon, a cave on a small island west of the ruins of Balfell.
Thank you very much.
Ajira congratulated me for finding the Staff of Magnus. Ajira told me that the Warlock's Ring is held by Vindemea Drethan, a sorceress in Ashirbadon, which is on an island east of the ruins of Balfell.
I'm also willing to guess I have no idea where Balfell is. But I have sold the contraband.
Welcome, please speak.
Yeah, I don't see any of these, I don't see these numbers working.
You flatter me with...
What can it do for you?
as before, anything with negative effects are sort of a first priority to get rid of. And I think I'm going to start selling based on weight. So for instance, drain personality is something I might want to sell a lot of because it's 28 invaluable. But being able to sell some of these things that weigh 1 would probably do more to free up my inventory.
Speak freely, friend.
Didn't do a ton for my weight, but it's a start.
Well, I find myself in pleasant company. Please share your thoughts.
No luck with this. All right.
What did I do to deserve this honor?
It's just a dagger, dude.
Go ahead, Outlander. How do you do? Yes, Outlander. How do you do? Yes, Outlander. What do you want? I am never too busy for a good talk.
Fight well.
So what I'm going to do here is pick up the wizard staff just for the purposes of a advancement. Where are we? Yep. Golden Ribbon of Merit. Alright. Oh, that's a T. Yep, fair. Alright, now the biography of Baron Zaya. I'm not going to be reading that today because we're going to be wrapping up soon. Do kind of want to do some alchemy, but and what else? I definitely have a lot to sell. Oh, sure, Fit of Thieves. I need to make sure I actually have a copy of that here. Now that's interesting because I distinctly remember reading that one. There it is. All right.
Is there something I can do for you? Walk with virtue, Outlander. Please join me.
May I help you?
I'm a little curious what kind of other There's definitely a side of me that wants to get the real Baron Zaya to compare. Yeah, there you go.
Yes, Outlander. How do you do?
In order to advance to the rank of wizard, you must have a wizard staff. Oh, so you have a wizard staff. Yes, that one will do. You are now ready for advancement. Congratulations, you are now Caius the Wizard. You meet our requirements, Caius, but you have not yet completed the duties expected of a master wizard.
Do you have any other duties?
You've completed all the duties I have. Have you spoken with Edwina in Aldrin or Skink and Sadrith Mora?
Welcome,
Not
friend.
yet. That will happen
I am
next
never
time.
too busy. Is there something I can do for you?
Head on.
There are many creatures beyond the cities.
All right. a lot of this really adds up. But I think that is it. So what we'll be doing next time, I'll probably get a little bit of alchemy in. Should take my books. I'm not quite sure when I'm going to do this, but being able to read, we'll definitely read 2 and 3 together. And I'll also read the Real Baron's Eye beside that. We will be doing some alchemy just to clean up this little stack. I'll visit Aldrin to get an idea of what my... let me get that saved again. I'll visit Aldrin to find what my next Mages Guild quest is. And then once all of that is done, we'll head to Vivek so that I can advance within the within House Lalu, and then we will finish up whatever duties we have there. But until next week, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.